I love the company for that. I think we were on a very good path. And like I said, sponsored by CEO's office. So I think it just knew that there was that much of seriousness, commitment, and huge integrity attached to that assignment. So we did well. That is something that, Rashmi, that was 2009, and today we are in 2024. There was no going back after that. Being a woman born in India, or I think anywhere in the world, you just know you experience some of these microaggressions. Also these unusual advances to say, let's go out for coffee. Oh, we are sitting and having a drink. Why don't you come and join? I don't want to. Oh, no, come. I don't want to. Oh, come on, come. And you're like, so small things like that, you knew that there were these, things around in your life that you've been exposed to. But you never thought too much about it. You just thought it's okay. But when you see systemic bias, structured interventions needed to fix that, then you know the problem is large, deep-seated, rooted, and it needs to be uprooted by a lot of strategy, design, and commitment. I think that was 2009. There was no going back. I had a gender lens. That gender lens just never went away. Even at home, in all the conversations with my dad, with my mom, with my husband, oh my God, I think I became a little bit of an aware pain. My sensitivity got heightened. My tolerance questioned. Then I needed to find my balance. And when Bagggel was being born, I had done a country manager, country CEO role for Western Digital. And I knew that being a non-engineer is one, I told you, being the Asian woman in a team of almost all white men at the top, different experience. And when I was given the role, I was told that there are these things that are going to be there. And you just have to work with these biases or handicaps, if you use the golf term. And I'm like, thank you for making me aware. What are you going to do to help me through this? What are you going to do to fix the system rather than making me aware? The answers were thin. The content was not there. So while there are these gaps you're told, or biases or handicaps you're told, but you'll have to fend and wade through that. And sometimes muddy water, sometimes choppy. And of course you emerge victorious, but you don't emerge victorious without scars. It's like you break the glass ceiling because you're left to walk on those shards. And therefore you're a bit wounded, a bit hurt, a bit tired, and a bit exhausted in your life. It happened to me. I survived. I am made of thicker material. And I was told by my CEO to say, but that thin skin, develop a thick skin. I said, yeah, by the time I start, I'm Supria. By the time I exit corporate life, I'll be one thick Supria the rhinoceros, with a thick skin that nobody can pierce into. And then you'll tell me, where's your empathy? Empathy doesn't permeate a thick skin. So if I go that way, you're going to kill me there. If I go this way, you're anyway killing me. I know it's like there's no balance. So Bagggel was born out of numerous conversations with my husband in the early morning walks. This was the pandemic time, sitting down, discussing and thinking, kuch karna hai. And I think there is enough and more dedicated expert people who are working at the bottom. Hopefully at the mid, very few, but some. I knew I wanted to start at the top, that how do we create a balance at the top? How do we create more women CEOs? And once we do that, Rashmi, then we know that these women who have gone through a journey where it happened to them will commit in the Bagggel philosophy to say, we won't let it happen, which means our voice will be strong, we will network, we will share experiences. We can't cover all the potholes and fix all of them. We live in India, urban infrastructure is quite a mess, but we will make you aware, hey, if you go this way, there's a pothole. Do you want to take a little bit of a detour here? For all you know, the stains may not just, the mud stains may not spoil your white shirt. I think we just be there for each other. We hold the curry so strong, the chain so strong that we form bonds. It gets lonely at the top. Maybe Rashmi will give you a call. Supria will sit with you. Son is unwell. I've had a call this morning with one of our Bagggel members. Son has been very unwell, suffering from dengue. All that person needed was just say there, God bless you, we're there. How much more can you do? Can you go and fix? You're not a doctor. Can you go and meet every time? You can't do that. You have your own precious internal. But can you just be there in emotion and pray once in a time? I think that's all you can do. And share experiences. I think Bagggel was born out of the need for women to network, hopefully support sisterhood, And at some point of time, we will invite more men to it, but only after our bonds are so strong that men can come, and it's like the river merging into sea, but not before our bonds become very strong, not before we learn the art of networking, not before we learn the art of showing up every possible time. And if we don't show up, there's a goddamn good reason, and therefore we establish an understanding of why we can't show up. So I think this is about giving back. It's purely from my heart to say, which is why it was a very conscious decision to make it not for profit, to say that as much as we charge a membership fee, which we call a donation, because we're all privileged, we're not going to pay for each other's food and all. I think rather than go and ask for donations, it's good that members pay for it. As much as we do that, it is not for profit. Its only goal is, let's be there for each other, and let's balance the top. Once we have 50-50 women CEOs, and the CEO is not a male archetype, tall guy in a blue suit with a lovely yellow or a pink tie, as long as we can break that stereotype, it's a gorgeous woman in a sari, or it's the person in a business suit, whichever her comfort may be. I think that's it. And we could teach the young children, the young women, to say, don't stop at CX. Don't stop at just a job. As an aim, climb the Mount Everest. Intent there. You're not done till you're a CEO. Can everybody make it? No. Can everybody try? Those who want, it's a complete passion.
This is so true, Supriya. And I would like you to go back to your journey, because I think somewhere you, like you said right at the beginning, you had that audacious goal to reach, and anything that was not tried before by you is what you wanted to try. Now, that streak of getting out of your comfort zone, though you started off by saying that bed of yours needed to leave the house along with you.
I miss my bed. I don't think Mama ever gave it to me.
Still, from that world, here you are trying everything you've not tried before. And in your own journey of being at the top of leadership in every space that you went into, what is it about women that you learned in that journey?
Thank you. It's a brilliant question again. We get clubbed as women. Yeah. We're all different. Very different. A young woman, different from a person with a mid-career, very different from a woman who's senior woman. A young woman married, different from a woman who's married but at a mid-age, very different from someone who's at 50 plus. And then you keep adding intersectionalities of an urban or a tier two. Am I ambitious? Am I more masculine in my disposition? Or am I a woman more feminine in my disposition? So much difference. There are men who are men, but they are feminine in their disposition. The masculinity and femininity is so different from the entire aspect of men and women. And now men and women is gender, and it's so different from the sex we are born with. Oh my God, this is such a complex subject that broad brushing and calling it women to say we are launching one program, let's put all women, is herd business. This doesn't work. So I think that is the first learning, that if you're an organization, try to understand the section of women population through multiple different cuts. Young from experience to mature to extremely ambitious women, to people who still want just a job and come back home, and who are comfortable with that, and now either you can ignite the spark or you let them be. How do you, so I think slice and dice your data first. Slice and dice the entire cross-section of data of women and understand. Then compare it with men if you want it. If you don't, then it's entirely your choice. I think our organizations are completely missing this piece of understanding what women, who are these women, and what do they want. I think that part is what I have understood, that when I was country manager and I joined, I joined in a people function with SanDisk. And they were broadly 11, 12 women on a base of 200. And I remember launching something called the India Women Network, and the CEO, Sajay Mehrotra, CEO worldwide, SanDisk, was extremely happy when we launched it. We did an Uber launch. And he was like, I'm so happy we're doing this. He was all for equality and doing it right and making sure we're in an inclusive place. I mean, I think I enjoyed tremendous support from him. We did it. And then when I exited Western Digital, when they acquired SanDisk, we were 22% on a base of almost 3,500. Now imagine that takes simple things, strategic intent, understanding, and going for it. So first, I think is that, Rashmi, my understanding that I don't think we understand this population enough. I don't think we care to understand it. Because there's no business metric attached. I was at a recent conference at one of the leading conferences, and I was saying, we're not serious. We are just not finding any business reason to do this. And those who do it, we don't award them well. Those who don't do it, we don't have consequence management of doing it. So if somebody's a good soul like me, does it great. If somebody's an average, not interested, still a good soul, doesn't want to do it, you're okay with that. There is no consequence, a carrot and stick attached to making corporate inclusive, making sure that women are understood. So I think first part is understanding what women want. Second, my learning is women will network. First, women need to also come up. You can't say that companies should give it. I think you need to be very clear how and where are you going to reach the top. So I think that ambition they have to sit with, do some soul searching, and if they want to do it, they should also come forward. But there has to be a system for them to come. When I was starting Bagggel, people said, nobody will come, women won't network, nothing is going to happen. But the magic worked. So I think there are so many women who come forward because we have a very clear system to say Friday evening we'll network or Saturday afternoon we will do it. But that's the time. I learned from them that Friday evening is not a great time, do Saturday. I'm someone who's never worked on the weekends. For Bagggel, I work on a weekend. The conference was on a Saturday. What a learning for me with 25 years of hard-coded Monday to Friday and Saturday, Sunday by personal time. We did the conference on a Saturday because I was listening to what my audience wants. Each Bagggel member is my customer. They were saying Supria Saturday. I push my Friday. Like I said, I'm a person who pushes. But you can't push beyond a point because you need to start listening. They said Saturday, we did Saturday. What a magical conference we had. 130 women showed up. Almost 90-95% of Bagggel members who committed showed up. Fabulous Saturday. Our now member mixer, June 8, Saturday. I am learning. So I realized that Monday to Friday, they are busy. We still say women have to work twice or thrice as much compared to a man to get noticed. And therefore, I think second is listen when they're saying anything.